hour after the live. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch the live. I know it's not very exciting times in the market, so it does make it a little difficult for some to try to stay, how do we say this? Stay transparent with the market and, stay up to date, up to the minute, and not let things slip through our grasp. Because right now, throughout all markets, we're a little volatile. There are opportunities, like we've talked about. You can start to buy in at certain levels if you want on like commodities, things that are undervalued, even though we could still walk ourselves into a retracement here, which we'll go over. As we know, gold was up to about 2051 today and it hit the brick wall. So we'll see what's going on there. We got to go through the Dow. We got to go through the DXY to see exactly how high this should run up. And then we'll get our way through the 10-year. We'll go through crude. Commodities we'll look at. And we'll just little feelers out here what we're supposed to do throughout the market. And then before I'm done, I will briefly, you know what? I might not even go over crypto. I'll go over it a little bit. But I will say this morning's update, it's got about 500 views, but I got done a disservice by YouTube because my live from last night, it decided to post it to everybody like 4 minutes after or before my other video uploaded. So kind of I got caught in a double whammy there. But at least the information's out there and everybody who wants to find it, they've got a way to find it today. So that is something that I'm thankful for. So good early afternoon, 1:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So let me see if anybody's commented. Wow. Avi, welcome in. Taki, thank you for tuning in. I did see your comment right before we started. I appreciate you tuning in as well. I'm a holder no matter what, but for God's sake, can something happen? Oh, I know. Avi, something is happening though, Something is happening. We are retracing, which is, we went through a big retracement. I wish we would have fell down to 44 cents, but, that's for another time. But, man, my hair is starting to get long. XRP really needs to get to $1, I won't cut my hair, even trim it until it gets to $1, and it's been like, since mid to late July was the last time I cut it, so it was August, September, October, November, December. So 6 full months now since my last haircut. So it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I do feel good about having hair like this at 40, but, somebody in the audience yesterday was like, oh, my hair is just the same at 50, so, they're looking better than me. What can I say? But, man, it's becoming a bit of a thing now. So, anyhow, the Dow's up 62.70, up to 38,395. Continues making new all-time highs. We know the technical target breaking out of that broadening wedge was 39,984. Martin, welcome in. Joshua, I'm blessed to see you in here. God bless you. And don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, everybody. On this beautiful day, we're all blessed to be here together. The positivity is what will keep us shining through. We got to bring that, that positive, but also nicely charged energy, so that we can keep ourselves in line. Because when you go through times like this, it's definitely interesting. Joshua, the hair is getting long. It sure is. Angela, welcome in, love. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. No, you see, no makeup. I wear no makeup. See, I don't have to. This is as pure as God made me. Well, besides the dye in my hair, but you all know that story. But yeah, 39,984 is where I still expect it to come up there. I really do. Free Toast, welcome here, or welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in as always. As always. But moving on. DXY. I still think DXY hasn't hit its move yet. I still think it could come up to that pivot point of 104.53. I can't help it. When you create these inverted head and shoulder styles, it makes you feel like you can come up higher. And do I think it's going to come up to 108 to the top of that pattern formation? Probably not. But we are just in the neutral area, and that's a nice looking bull flag here, and it's broadening now. That's becoming very volatile. So we've had a golden cross. We're riding the 4-hourly after that on the 20-day. It seems to be speaking to the fact that we're not done yet. DXY, for whatever reason, on that very overzealous sell-off, I would like to see this come up a little bit more. I mean, it just would. It hasn't even fulfilled the technical move yet by holding the 200-day. So I think we're going to catch 22 here because we know it's going to go up. I mean, we don't want it to. I don't want it to. Well, I take that back. I do want it to so that commodities can have this last ditch push for liquidity, honestly. Looking like the charts are showing a raise to around $16 in the next 2 or 3 months. $16 for what? XRP? But that's the DXY, so just watch that. You got two pivot points we're between 104 spot 53 and 101 spot 69. You get above 101 spot 53, you can start moving up some pretty significantly. You get below 101 spot 69, look out. US 10 years at 4.09, up 1 basis point or 0.22%. We've made this inverted head and shoulders apparent pattern. It looks like we're creating this right now. It didn't come all the way down to 3.57, but it came down to 3.79. And we were predicting this from when it was up here. We created this whole side here as a community because without everybody, I can't make the prediction. You know, it's just that simple. So right now, if we hold it's right around 4.07. If we bounce off of that, we definitely have a ton of room to run up. 4 hourly's just reversing back up from neutral areas. 2 hourly's got a lot of room. We've got a lot of room here. We really do. Even in the smaller time frames, assuming we don't pull a reversal here, we've got a lot of room to run up. And I still think if it does come up, you've got to deal with that 4.27%. And then we can go from there. Eventually, this is going to go to parabolic levels. But are they going to do it during an election cycle? Probably not. But I still could see it having a big retracement ahead of it. It's just we're in this, now that we had such a big overzealous sell-off, now you have to reverse the other way. Now you've got to cut some of the buyers who are going to sell up at the top. Crude oil went up to $79 a barrel, priced in WTI, priced in US dollars. This was our technical, this is where we were measuring the move. It's at $77.88 right now, up at 95 cents or 1.22% on the day. But it already came and hit this ascending formation. And we knew that from 69.9. Once it bounced off of here, we knew it had to come back up. This is, when I say standard operating procedure, this is what I mean. Golden cross here. And now the pattern's going to tell us, are we bullish or bearish? If we get rejected here again, all you simply have to do is watch for a dump down to 72.50. It'll clear everything out. Right now, there is a W reversal there, so this is going to get rather interesting here. Whether or not this can hold at 79.20. Daily, getting a little bit up there. Weekly, beautiful. Weekly looks pretty nice right now. I know at the end of this weekly, though, it's going to come up some when the candle closes tomorrow. Or, I mean, on Friday. But just let's see how this plays out the next few days, because we do have our consolidatory tug right now. So maybe tomorrow's the candle where we know we have to clear out some relative strength here. And that's how we come down to 74.60. So maybe a bearish day tomorrow. Maybe follow through some consolidation and we'll see how far. And then it looks like it's going to want to try to reverse rally back up. Gold's at 2,033, up 23 cents or 0.01%. It's at 2,033.12. It was up about 20 bucks earlier. Had a quick retracement. Went up to about 2,050 roughly at 2,048.57. Pulled right back down here. And it happened pretty quickly. 30-minute, it just dumped down right when it got up there. And that, a lot of times, that's signifying that we're bearish in this area. What was making me nervous is we're on the bottom side of this formation. So it looked like an obvious pull to rejection. And then we had to see how we react when we got there. Now we're going to see. We hit the rejection, and now it could certainly stand for a nice retracement here. We could certainly stand for a retracement. The bigger the retracement, the bigger the bounce back up. I personally want this to come down, as most of you know, 1930. If you've been watching the Midday Market Report, that's exactly where I would like to have it. I think bouncing off of 1930 would be ideal. It doesn't need to happen. It's just I'm looking for the longer tug here, the longer pull. So then if it comes down here to 1930, you figure that could go all the way to May if it takes that long. Then you could have a nice bounce up back to 2100 and retest those all-time highs. Right now we're in a descending formation, and that's good. These are bullish reversals at the bottom if it continues this and if it stays true. But right now we need a rejection up here, and then that would actually, it would do us very well. It would do very well for us. PAXG, that's just if you want to do it as a stable. I'm not looking to buy this right now because it's on the resistance side, just like gold. It almost speaks to me that everything's on resistance. So we're looking for a rejection around 2020, then a break back down. If it breaks up out of there, it's just going to end up finding itself an overbought. The weekly's up there a little bit. Daily still has room to come up. So you could get 2 or 3 days where it actually does make a pull up. We'll see. Because it does look like there's some inverted hammer candles. It's all going to depend on if gold wants to take the artificial rally up or if it's going to come dump down to support, which I desperately want it to, just so we can get through this part of the formation. Gold-silver ratio topped a little bit here at 91.90 as we anticipated. Now it's a matter of, does it come all the way back down to like 82.60 or can we rotate? And it would probably happen in the 2-hourly. Can we rotate here and start riding the 20-day? We'd have to be over 87.60, then work our way back up. But right now, we look like we could use the consolidation we started to. We have a death cross in the 2-hourly, so is it done? It probably, even if it is done, it would come back up to like 89.5 just to retest that structure. So don't be surprised if that happens. Silver's at 23.11, down 0.32% or 7.5 cents. Silver's still making its way up. It's like kind of in a rising formation, like rising channel formation. But it had a V-shaped recovery, golden cross here. This is the same thing with gold too. If it doesn't dump down here and it goes this last little wing, it's just going to make it a farther drop. And it'll probably go from 23.57 all the way down to fucking 21.50. I think that X marks the spot, and it's telling us that range for a reason. That's converging parts of different patterns. And it seems to be speaking that that's a very strong support area. So we'll see how this plays out. But to me, when I'm looking through the relative strength, in the 4-hourly, it's got some of a move left. But once you start breaking through this move, what happens? I don't know. Death cross in the daily, 2-hourly gold. I mean, you have converging and a lot of contradicting measurements here. B2 gold, it's up to you what you want to do with it. It's in a buy zone. For me, I'm not opposed to it. Daily looks okay. 4-hourly, it's still got some room to run. It's just a matter of if you're watching it for a rejection here, do you want to buy it on the top side, or are you going to buy it willingly and then layer yourself in, or are you just trying to wait for $2.40? I mean, or over $3.15. Those are your two choices if it were to break over. But right now, I mean, this looks like a rising formation as well. This doesn't speak to me and slap me in the face saying, oh, this looks great. It does speak to me that maybe we come back up here. We've talked about it, retest the 200 up here. Maybe come back up to the formation. But once we get up there, we can already see we're going to have retracements here, even when we come up. It's just building it in an unnatural way, and the volume is decreasing even in the 30-minute on each candle. That doesn't look great to me. That means at least a double bottom should be in store here if we're going to come back down. I mean, it doesn't look too strong here, so be careful. But at the same time, there's a 5.4% dividend, so do with it what you will. And Fortuna Silver Mines, exact same boat. It's hitting the resistance side. This looks like it could dump down, and that bear flag could play out. And if it does, you're looking at about 273 on the next drop. So, good afternoon, Kevin. Welcome in. Welcome in. King Christopher, blessings to you, my friend, as well. So that's what I'm seeing here with the market report here with commodities and such. And then like with crypto, we're definitely in a danger zone. Bitcoin is overextended, but it did dump out in the smaller time frames where it can technically give itself more room. And if Bitcoin wants, if they've got a lot of momentum built up, the powers that be, Bitcoin could absolutely come up even without pushing any further. You could absolutely fill out this formation, which was the old bull flag, and I only like to keep these for when the pattern plays back through, because we know it went into a broadening wedge. But look, if you're looking at the bull flag part of the setup, now you're technically back in there, and you have a resistance up here around 44,100. So that's why I target that area if it were to continue going. We know we're in the broadening wedge. True, welcome in. Good to see you in here, my friend. Always good to see you in here. Same with you, Devin. Thank you both so much for tuning in, the dedication. But we know we're in this broadening wedge with Bitcoin, and the pivot point's 43,500. It's just, and then if we can stay on top here, obvious the next resistance 44,100 and some change, closer to 44,200, because that was the old busted bull flag before it showed us that it was in a broadening wedge. We're just going to end up overextended again with Bitcoin. But call me crazy, but that looks like another bull flag inside of an inverted pattern. So looks like a lot of fake outs here. Casper, we talked about yesterday when it was under 3.5. We talked about the run up from here, from 347 approximately, when we were on 343, somewhere like that. But we're looking for the technical move to 371, and then we'd see how it responds. If you look at this though in the daily, this has a lot of ways to go here. It looks like a lot of ways to go. How Algo Trading View looks for. So, but the daily, it's just starting to reverse. So this looks like we could be starting a retracement here, and maybe not even 3.7. It might come all the way up to almost 4 cents. So I've been sitting on this one. It only lets you do, it's limited when you do a leverage trade with this one. So I could only do it at 4x, but I did throw $1,000 at it. So, and it's up. Not much. It's like 15% or whatever, but it's something. I'm trying to ride it to that 377 area, but we'll see if it gives me that ability. So that's what I'm looking at here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I see on the midday market report. XRP, we already know it's still dealing with the death cross, but if it continues to push up, we need to get above 534 and then above 54.5 cents. And then you can start pushing up. It's just, it looks like a head and shoulders pattern, feels like a head and shoulders pattern, which means it probably won't play out like a head and shoulders. So I'm still expecting not 73 cents. Oh, no. But I'm expecting this to retest this descending triangle formation, a descending formation, up at 57 cents approximately, if we're overzealous. And then if it breaks above that, we're still in this rising channel formation from June of 2022. Then you'd have 66.2 cents up there. But other than that, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. If you'd like to show your personal, you can always send a YouTube super chat. Or I'd love to see more people in Tom's Army. If you're looking to track XRP or your favorite crypto, whether leverage, spot, whatever the hell your choice is, video description below. It's the ways I do it for the lowest spot fees. I just want to read this and then I'm out. S&P 500 is flat as Wall Street awaits Fed rate decisions. Live updates. So the S&P 500 was flat Tuesday as Wall Street waits for the latest Federal Reserve decision on interest rates. The benchmark was little changed while Dow Jones Industrial Average added 40 points or 0.1%. The NASDAQ Composite pulled back 0.7%. Traders will watch for updates out of the Federal Open Market Committee's two-day policy meeting that got underway Tuesday. The Fed funds futures market has priced in a 97% probability that the central bank will leave rates unchanged. According to the CME Fed Watch, there's no way they're raising it. The markets are not pricing in a rate hike. I think it's too early for a rate cut still until the next meeting, but I would be shocked if they did anything in the up direction. It's either staying the same, and I'd be still stunned if they lowered rates. So investors are instead left anticipating a shift in the policy statement that will close out the meeting. General Motors shares popped 7% after the automaker posted better than expected earnings. Cybersecurity stock at 5 gained 2% on the back of better than expected financial report, while electronics manufacturer Sanmina soared more than 29% after posting strong earnings per share in current quarter guidance. Also, appliance maker Whirlpool shed more than 6% after sharing a worse than expected outlook for the full year. JetBlue fell 6% after forecasting little to no revenue growth in 2024, and cost per available seat mile rising in the mid to high single digits excluding fuel. Technically, blah, 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 blah. Wall Street is coming off a winning session that brought the Dow and S&P to their 6th record closes of the year. 144 companies have reported quarterly results so far this earnings season, or about 29% of the index. About 79% of the companies that have reported results surpassed Wall Street estimates, compared to an average 76% clip over the past 4 quarters. Oil rises as IMF boosts growth forecast market braces for U.S. response to drone attack. Please make sure to hit that like button too if you're still tuning around until the end here. It really does help push us through the analytics and helps more people reach this beautiful community. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and join the over 20,000 subscribers that have already joined. I can't thank everybody enough. Oil prices rose on Tuesday after the International Monetary boosted its growth forecast as the market braced for the U.S. response to a deadly drone attack on its troops in the Middle East. The West Texas Intermediate contract for March was last up $1.07 or 1.39% to trade at $77.85 a barrel. That's WTI crude. Yeah, everybody should be familiar with that because that's what I watch personally for each and every one of us in the market report. Contract for March last traded at 82.98 a barrel, up 58 cents or 0.7%. That's Brent. IMF forecasts economic growth of 3.1% this year, up 0.2 percentage points from its October forecast due to a resilient U.S. economy and stimulus in China. Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, meanwhile, are simmering after militants killed, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even talking about politics. So that's it, everybody. Have a blessed day. Hopefully this helped, and I'm glad you all stuck around. It looks like everybody, for the most part, for the whole 20-minute time frame. Appreciate that. Have